I love that line. All the hairs of your head, God knows. Now, for some of us here, that's not a big deal. But for most of it, it is. Today's gospel is a continuation of really last Sunday's. Last Sunday's gospel, Jesus called the disciples together and he sent them out 2 by 2 on a mission. They were to be his ambassadors, if you will, his representatives. They were told to travel lightly and to be warm and welcoming. Part of what is so important about the gospel is it tells us something that I think we have a hard time believing or understanding, and that the church is all about mission. It's not like a club where we just take care of one another. No, it's about a mission to light up the world with the love of God shown to us in Jesus. And that every one of us is called to be a missionary disciple. What does that mean? Well, let me say a little more. Yesterday morning, I had a wonderful, unforeseen religious experience. I attended and participated in the ordination of 3 new priests for the Archdiocese of Chicago. We need about 300 new priests, but these 3 guys I've known for over 7 years. I've directed each of them at different times on retreats, and I know that they will be good priests. Not perfect people, but they come to their ordination with great generosity and what I would say is a pastor's heart. They really want to come and serve people. I haven't participated in an ordination priesthood for a number of years, but this year I was also invited to represent all the retired priests. So I was, like, if you will, the chosen dinosaur, or Foggy, okay? But I was tremendously touched by that because I knew these men. The rite of ordination of the priesthood is just a very beautiful ceremony, and it's also a great teaching moment. And so as I watched and listened to these men being ordained priests, I was, in a sense, blessed again with all the ways God has blessed me as a priest. And so it was very, very renewing on a lot of levels. I may have come into the cathedral less confident about my time as a priest left, but I left full of hope and full of confidence, participating in this wonderful ceremony. Most priests have a real sense that they have a mission. I'm afraid that most of you don't necessarily understand that idea. The church is missionary, and so everyone here who's been baptized has a mission to bring the presence and forgiveness and generosity and love of God to wherever they are, to whomever they meet. Frederick Buechner, a great writer, says that a vocation is a combination of the world's need and our individual gladness. What does individual gladness mean? Well, I think it means most of the time our calling is a good fit, okay? And that's important. So today, think about, as we celebrate Father's Day, children don't come with instructions on them, we know that, nor can you send them back to where they came from. They're yours, okay? And it takes a while, maybe a lifetime, to keep embracing this calling to be a parent, to be a father, okay? But it's usually, for most people, a pretty good fit. even though we're all weak and imperfect, we all have our moments, but with generosity, a new father or a new mother, what do they learn? They learn about sacrifice. They learn how to put up with sleepless nights, nights of worry and anxiety about this supposed gift that they've been given. It doesn't always feel like a gift, does it? But that's part of all callings, all vocations. The second thing that's really important is that in last Sunday's gospel and today's gospel, Jesus doesn't soft sell his mission. He doesn't say, oh, you'll love it, it'll be easy. No, he says, no disciple can be better than the master. Whatever the master experiences, so does that student, that disciple. And so that what means is that every calling, every life involves difficulty, challenges, suffering, like the master himself. And so it's a costly life. And that's tremendously important for us to realize about following Jesus. We live in a world that tells us, take care of yourself, be comfortable. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being comfortable, but there is if that's all we're about. We have to be about something greater than ourselves. And that's what a calling or a mission is really all about. One of the things that happened to me at Holy Name Cathedral yesterday is that I heard clearly in the ritual something I had kind of let go of or forgotten. God will always give us the grace we need for our state in life, for our calling, for our mission. When Jesus called the first disciples, what he said is, come follow me, and I will make you fishers of people. Okay. Sometimes I think it's all on me, which it isn't. It's all, for none of us is it all on us. St. Paul learned when he was having great struggles in his ministry and with his own health, he heard the voice of Jesus say, my grace will be enough for you. My grace will be enough for you. And that's consoling. That's consoling. So when we feel we're facing impasses in our mission, in our calling, we also need to trust, once again, that God is not asking us to do the impossible. God is going to accompany us and give us everything that we need so that we can be true to our mission. Every one of us here has a mission. We might not always be clear about what it is, but it always has to do with following Jesus. It always has to do about sacrificial loving, and it also always contains incredible blessings.
Thank you for participating in this production of our virtual Mass. Your presence means so much. Every day, so many parishioners connect to OLPH through the digital ministry. The digital ministry is one of almost 80 ministries supported by the parish. That's why your support of the parish is crucial, so we can continue to have the resources to fund all of our ministries that touch the lives of many. Thank you for watching, continue to watch, and thanks again for your support.